on, everybody? This is dkdynamite for a full breakdown of the Black Ops 7 Zombies Survival Beta and everything else that was just revealed in the giant blog post. Definitely stay tuned. So, quite a bit already got shown to us through the official reveal trailer. My reaction to that is going to be linked down below if you want to check that out. We broke it down frame by frame as best as we could, but now we got to talk about the giant intel blast that they went ahead and released for us. As you guys can see, a deep dive and a tour of the launch map Ashes of the Damned, plus every other zombie experience that we're going to be getting day one, November the 14th. As a reminder, I'll be live from COD Next in Las Vegas on September the 30th, where I'll get to play Black Ops 7 Zombies again. Hope to see you guys in that stream, as I'm also going to have plenty of videos and shorts going up simultaneously. So, part one is about Ashes of the Damned, aka our Transit remake inside of BO7. They go over the preload, the environment, Wonder Vehicle, the Wonder Weapon, jump pads. Ashes of the Damned teams up with horrors, swarming zombies, scavenging ravagers, the hulking Zursa, and a volatile Wraith Seeds, each twisting survival into a brutal contest of endurance, precision, and squad comms. There we have it. So, got a narrative overview here. I made plenty of story videos already, but as I went over in my trailer reaction, this is our tac map for Ashes of the Damned. What you could hope for is that during the preseason and probably season one, they'll take other POIs here and plop them into survival alongside farm, because they confirmed to us at the studio that farm won't be the only survival map that is pulled from Ashes of the Damned. And as DLC maps come out in the long run, they'll end up breaking up other pieces of those future maps and also plopping those into survival, maybe even grief and other LTMs on top of that. So we got the environment, beautiful new screenshots, of course. I'm going to be skimming through most of them in this video, but you'll be seeing plenty of these screenshots in some future videos of mine as well, and even some thumbnails. A cursory glance at a strange land. It's crazy that you get to spawn by the Janus Towers Plaza, allegedly at least. So this is the outside area of the Reckoning, which we didn't get to access in DLC 4 of Black Ops 6. We of course have the farm. We'll be seeing that in survival. I got to play it already. It's fantastic. Much more detailed than the BO2 version. We also have the Blackwater Lake. I love that it's not just like a one-to-one of BO2 Transit. They've either, reimagined some of those Green Run POIs, or they just added new ones altogether, which is awesome. So it's not just some, plain reimagining or anything on a new engine. Blackwater Lake, I mean, there's a cabin here. There's like a floating pyramid. I don't know if it's an NPD or not, probably not. But we also have Ashwood, a frontier town sunken into a rift, overrun and its inhabitants massacred in a war of bygone era. The dead are more than memories here. So it looks like a brand new town altogether. I don't think it's a reimagining of any town we've ever really seen, but it is meant to be, I guess, a new version of the BO2 town. We also have the Exit 115 Diner. Once thriving, this rest stop and crumbling freeway overpass was torn from its original location. There are faint echoes of a doomed confrontation. Only desperation and betrayal will remain. And then we have the Zarya Cosmodrome. I don't think, I mean, it might be a remake of Launch, closer to, I mean, this looks like Launch more than anything, but at the same time, spiritual successor to Ascension from Black Ops 1. Very, very cool. And then we have the Fog. This is going to be creepy. Much of the traversal roads, some additional areas of investigation, such as a grounded ship or a forest of monoliths, are blanketed in a layer of forbidding mist. Transportation is advised through these shrouded areas, as only the bravest or most foolhardy venture through these areas on foot. Then we got a little image there of the Wonder Vehicle kind of getting through. Don't expect a gradual increase in difficulty if you decide to run through fog-laden areas. Skill and preparation are needed before venturing here, and overstaying your welcome in these zones may result in a significantly challenging environment. Enemies here seem to be far more powerful, appearing more rapidly and moving at a faster speed. While you're dealing with this increased threat, watch your step. Explosive growths are also lurking in the fog. So this line right here about expecting a gradual increase in difficulty, don't expect one. That's referring to the fact that rounds will increase while you're in the fog, but there'll still be challenges and probably Easter eggs to uncover while you are there. So that's worth pointing out. Old Tessie is the Wonder Vehicle. Again, only available in Ashes of the Damned. Won't be in survival, of course. That's the image we saw at the studio. I think, yeah, this is what we saw at the studio. We all assumed it was a Wonder Waff of sorts, or they might have changed it. I think it looked closer to a Wonder Waff when we initially saw it, but now it's just like an energy turret on the top. No problem. You can shoot beams out of that, out of the heads of the vehicle itself. Oh, it is called DG2 turret. All right. It is called a DG too, so there we have it. Here's a new wonder weapon, the Necro Fluid Gauntlet. Of course, saw footage of it in the actual gameplay trailer. In addition to the Ray Gun and Mark II. By the way, the Mark II was actually in the Origins-looking mystery box we got to see over at the studio when we play Farm Survival. So they're just carrying that forward off rip. Not sure if the wonder weapon skins are going to carry forward or not. They'll probably go over that later on here, but upon discovery, the Necrofluid Gauntlet is a black skull-fanged glove that glows with a bilious greenish hue. This ancient artifact seems to be deadly at both melee and long ranges. Its umbral surface veins choked by a vicious liquid that the gauntlet seems to control. In fact, the entire weapon seems alive and hungry. The dark liquid can be reshaped into powerful spikes that shoot forth, skewering targets at range before summoned back into the gauntlet. Okay. I wonder if you can actually upgrade it. It can also pull in items and power-ups from a distance. That's fantastic. Base zombies and armored zombies. Obviously, brand new models. We got Ravagers. These are definitely the new type of denizens we're going to be seeing inside of the map. Zursa. That is the Zombear. Very, very cool. General intel changes to enemies. Audio cue. Expect to hear a special round audio stinger when zombie strength increases as the rounds progress. That's cool. Fewer super sprinters. That's fantastic. Will start to appear at higher rounds. Will increase in frequency at a lower rate as rounds continue past 55. Armored zombie adjustments. They'll no longer super sprint in higher rounds. Zombie armor is more easily destroyed, but more durable against explosive splash. And then certain weapon and attachment combinations are more effective at armored zombie takedowns. That's very cool. Jump pads are back. Rapid navigation, jumping off point. Let's see. Landing pads and a tactical repositioning. A big step up from the ones we saw in Cold War. Saw blade trap. Yep, got to use it right there in front of the barn. That's fantastic. And then modes and loadouts. Very, very cool. Before we jump into the rest of the gameplay items, let's talk about the beta. We'll jump right to the beta there. So obviously, the multiplayer beta is from the 2nd and through the 8th. It's one continuous period, not split across 2 different weekends, but it's still split from early access to the open period. So early access requires a code or a pre-order, whereas open beta just requires an internet connection on any platform. You can just jump in and play. So during that multiplayer beta, it does look like Zombies Survival will be featured. Let's see where it actually mentions that. But as it says, during the early access period, you're able to play Zombies Survival as part of the beta. Stay tuned to the Call of Duty social channels for more details. So they haven't exactly given out too much about how that's going to work. As the tweet also says, jump into the Van Dord farm to get a small taste of the full Ashes of the Damned experience starting during early access. So yes, right when the MP beta begins, you can jump into zombies. That is crazy. Don't think there'll be any Easter eggs live inside of the beta itself because there aren't really any Easter eggs in survival. It's just basic zombies gameplay, giving you a taste of how the game will feel, giving you a taste of hopefully the new perk, the weapons, and even some of the new enemy types. But we'll see what's actually playable at COD Next. If I had to guess, we'll probably play on maybe a portion or the entirety of Ashes of the Damned to give you a real experience with the Wonder Vehicle, and obviously don't be any quests live during that, but I doubt they'll let us play farmed at COD Next and then again during the actual beta. They'll probably switch it up like they did last year with the BO6 Zombies reveal, where they released raw gameplay of Terminus. We got to play Liberty Falls at COD Next, and then, of course, both of those were available day one. We didn't have a Zombies beta last year, nor have we ever really seen one ever before. But also want to remind you, because of how important early access beta codes are going to be now because of Zombies, I'll be giving away even more codes as often as I can. I'll be giving away as many as possible during COD Next weekend, and of course, all while early access is live. I'll be doing plenty of giveaways here on stream with Nightbot, and I'll be announcing even more giveaways probably over on Detonated. But jumping back into part 2 here, modes and loadouts. Let's see what they have in store for us. We obviously have standard mode, as we have come to expect with Cold War and Black Ops 6. Includes the main quest and side quest content on November the 14th. What they'll probably do, though, as per usual with the launch of every new Zombies, is they'll lock the Easter eggs for like 12 to 16 hours, and then they'll release them when everybody has the game downloaded because of, region lock and all that. Direct mode will be post-launch. An experience that's more approachable for new players or those chasing story-driven completions. It'll probably be like a couple weeks after, or maybe even season 1. We'll see. Survival. Survival maps are coming to zombies for the first time since BO2, delivering a focused, unfiltered experience based on a small part of Ashes of the Damned at launch. There are no quests other than you and your squad surviving against the relentless undead for as long as you can. The thing is, I've always been okay with the idea of a zombies beta so long as it's not going to spoil or ruin that hype and that momentum at launch when everybody's experiencing a map for the very first time. Just playing on farm isn't going to ruin anything, in my opinion. It's such a small space, probably the smallest POI of Ashes of the Damned altogether. So I think it's all right that we're going to be able to see that. But it's cool that we get a taste of that straight away in October. Then we have Curse Mode, recently leaked out, but wasn't quite leaked out accurately. As I said here, take on a new experience featuring some legacy mechanics with numerous side quests to unearth increasingly potent and cursed relics. Activate these relics to face harder challenges in exchange for new levels of power, replayability, and rewards. This is what they were referring to in a previous blog where they said that they're going to find a new way to reward hardcore players. It's through this curse mode. So, crafted for those seeking a more demanding experience with new layers of challenge to discover and overcome for access to unique rewards, this is one of BO7's biggest innovations, directly inspired by feedback from the zombies community. So, you'll start your curse match with some familiar friends, only a trusty pistol in your hand with no loadout weapons available. No minimap and a classic point system inspired by Black Ops 3. Holy crap. From there, he focuses on finding archaic artifacts of great power hidden away from dark ether, time, and space. These are known as relics, each one themed around a totem from Black Ops Zombies history. Every relic has a unique condition to discover, and the requirements needed can be unforgiving. All right. They'll provide a debuff modifier, making your subsequent matches even more challenging. Each relic offers a unique challenge to overcome, and once unlocked and applied to a match, several of these modifiers can be enabled, further restricting that longtime fans, or can enable further restrictions that longtime fans will find familiar. A limit of 4 perks or the removal of ammo caches are just 2 examples. With relics becoming available in varying degrees of curse power, your future curse matches available as private matches with the host collection of relics available to pick from. Thank God there's private match support, by the way. It's not like grief or anything. These are set to become even more hectic as you hunt down more dangerous artifacts. Each BO7 zombie map will have more relics to discover throughout the post-launch seasons. So that's confirmed post-launch support for this mode. Why curse yourself by choosing relics to increase the challenge? Because doing so is the key to unlocking more powerful relics, as well as granting you classified benefits and rewards unique to the mode. Good luck, you will need it. So it's probably recommended that you beat the map in standard, get used to the map, get used to the quest, get familiar with all the systems, then give curse mode a try. So it's kind of a blend of like classic mode that people are looking for, while offering like a hardcore variation of the current experience to give you more to do and unlock. I guess we'll see what those classified rewards are going to be. That sounds fantastic. But survival mode intel. Obviously, it's going to be farm. This is obviously important for the zombie beta as well, which begins October the 2nd. As I got to see at the studio, we got Wonder Fizz there, where a perk would usually be. We got Pack-a-Punch in the actual barn. I think the Arsenal machine is underground in the new secret area. Let's see what they mention here. Old Tessie's out of commission, and tactical positioning is the key to keeping the undead forces at bay. Once the power to the farm has been restored, you have a focused plan to survive for as long as possible, but with little chance of escape. Any accessible caches and machines available in standard mode will appear in an identical location inside of survival. That is absolutely fantastic. Any other incentive or any other interactive crafting table, wall buy, or machine not in the standard mode area of the map are moving to the survival map itself, allowing you to be fully tooled up, provided you've got the necessary essence and salvage. So yes, those systems are returning. Armor is also back. The HUD looked a little bit different and prettier during the session I got to play, but I'm sure they probably updated and changed it a bit since then. And yes, for anybody wondering, the embargo lifted today for the early impressions of zombies from the event. For example, in standard mode, Van Dorn Farm doesn't have a Pack-a-Punch or their Wonder Fizz machine, so both are dropped into the survival mode map. In survival, your options are clear. Fight for as many rounds as you can, judging the best time to flee via exfil before you are overwhelmed by the dead. So, the cool thing about exfilling, at least from when I got to play, is they've gotten rid of the way that it's worked in Cold War and Black Ops 6. You activate an exfil, you kill like one zombie who's kind of like a special elite-ish enemy. Not quite the Zombear, but a special type. You kill them and you just walk right through and you can exfil. Kind of like in Vanguard, you walk through a portal. Very different because of, I guess, data they had suggesting that people weren't exfilling enough inside of Black Ops 6. The best part, you'll be able to play survival in the BO7 beta. Yes, look for more information about accessing the mode in our forthcoming Call of Duty Next coverage on September the 30th. I'll, of course, be live from Las Vegas going over more of that as well. The rest of this has to do with the specific gameplay systems, which I do want to cover in more depth in a separate video. Keep that in mind. But they do mention loadouts, obviously exempt from curse mode. This is just for survival and directed. Just what you come to expect, as we saw in BO6. Confirmations and changes. So build codes will work, as we already got plenty of info about from the multiplayer reveal. 30 weapons to level up and unlock. Weapon prestige will work through zombies. Support weapons, including the all-new Disciple injection. Wow, we didn't get to see that at the studio. As well as a new selection of BO7 ordnance. Find these as drop loot or build them with the crafting table. Melee weapon adjustments. You can inflict critical and more damaging attacks. That sounds cool. New and returning features. Let's see what else they mentioned here. Essence and salvage. You know about how that works. You know where you can use them. They got some changes though. Gobblegums can be recycled to receive instant additional essence. Oh. The salvage bonus from certain silencer attachments that perform similarly to their BO6 counterparts have been lowered so that other muzzle attachments become a valid choice. Amassing missed salvage. Expect some help in that regard. Every 10 rounds, you're awarded around 50% of any salvage you previously missed picking up. That is a crazy quality of life update, which again, you should be able to go ahead and experience during the Zombies beta. Power-ups are available through Gobblegums, can still be found in other selective ways, probably side quests. No Carpenter, no buildable barriers from what I could see here. Random perks going to be a regular power-up now. That's awesome. And then some changes were also made to how those power-ups also work. Multiple power-ups randomly dropping within a single round is now a more frequent occurrence. There's a new Gobblegum Power Vacuum Ape that increases the chances of power-up spawning after zombie kills. I also got to see a brand new Gobblegum at the event called Gift Card. You can just instantly give yourself 30k points. So probably eliminates the need to even get shopping free inside of Black Ops 7. Fire Cell reduces the cost of traps and wall buys. And max ammo, oh my god. Max ammo now fills your equipment as well as your ammunition. That's massive. And then we got some other enhancements here that they mentioned. 12 type of Perca-Colas, 11 of them being returning ones from BO6. Wisp Tea being a new one. We got our new ammo mod. Fireworks, with the other ones also returning from Black Ops 6. Sadly, Lightmen isn't here. That sucks. Field upgrades. Mr. Peaks is not coming back either, so maybe they'll carry him forward in the future. Not sure what happened here. And then they got more info here about the augment system. For each returning enhancement, Juggernaut, for example, expect 6 augments from BO6 plus 2 brand new augments, 1 major and 1 minor per item. BO6 augment research continues and carries forward. For every perk, ammo mod, and field upgrade, research all 8 augments in your research diagram, and you can then unlock the extra slot minor augment, which enables you to equip a second minor augment in-game to each item. That's very cool. They mentioned Lightman and Shatterblast. And 3 field upgrades. Tesla Storm, Frostblast, and Mr. Peaks aren't listed as returning. Expect them all to appear, each with 2 new augments and additional minor augment slot to unlock to bolster your offensive capabilities further during Season 1. So at least we're not having to wait several seasons or months to go ahead and get all that. But as far as changes to augments, we're going to go over all of that. That's a nice new screen in a separate video where we go into more detail about how all this is going to work. There's a lot of info here. There's gift card. A lot more info here about what all the Goblin was going to do, what the upgrades are going to be like, Rampage Inducer, a lot of other systems that we're going to go ahead and tackle separately along with Dead Ops Arcade 4. But with that being said, folks, that's a bunch of deep information about the Zombies beta and a bunch of gameplay improvements. With that being said, I will catch you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.